to Iain of a kind. So people may know that Iain's most recently published work is called Gold Machine. That's right, isn't it? You haven't squeezed out something in between there, have you? And I'd love to review it for you, but it's currently in wrapping paper underneath my Christmas tree. So, one of the things that I've really learned from Iain is how important it is to try and understand the places that you're in at any given time. I mean, you know, place writing is much too broad a description for that, and everyone here who's familiar with Iain's work will understand just how well he gets under the skin of his immediate environment, whether it be an urban setting or some other. And with the South American connection, I thought I'd read this, which I wrote very close to the beginning of your residency here, and it's situated on my way to Lima, and it's called A Matter of Perspective. Above Belo Horizonte, March 2019. Plummeting from 8 miles above the earth is a hell of a ride. I'd recommend it to anyone, except for the last second or so. Skip that bit if you can. Well, if you can't, well, you can't, of course, but for now, just pretend the way that we spend all our lives pretending. And while you're at it, invent a parallel universe free of the inconvenience of asphyxia and hypothermia and the violence of a Boeing 777 ripping itself apart in biblical turbulence at 40,000 feet with an airspeed just below that of sound. And there was us thinking that these planes were built for punishment. That's what they always say, isn't it? Don't worry. Don't worry if you feel the airframe shake or see the wings bending. They're supposed to do that. If they were rigid, the aircraft would shake itself to pieces. Well, I've got news for you, Mrs. Aircraft Designer. You can have too much of a good thing. And we're the living proof, albeit not for long. Yes, our life expectancy has just been radically revised downwards, and our views on how fair that is are quite irrelevant, so we might as well imagine away the wildly twisting debris, the sub-zero temperatures, the spinning banks of seats and strapped-in passengers, luggage, meal trolleys, metal lattices, crew whizzing round our heads. Let's just concentrate on the falling. It takes a while to fall 8 miles, particularly without a parachute. Doesn't really make sense, does it? A little more than 3 minutes, in fact, assuming Vt equals the square root of 2 mg over PAC to the 4th, as of course you were. So a little time to enjoy the view. It's a damn sight better than the toilet at the back of the plane. Funny, if I'd been strapped in instead of taking a piss, I might be spending these last few minutes with 2 complete strangers, fellow thrill seekers on this ultimate fairground ride. Terminal velocity, they'd call it. By instinct, the first thing I found myself doing was zipping up. 2 small mercies in extremis. I'm not a woman, and I wasn't doing a poo. It can't be easy pulling your trousers up as you accelerate towards a speed of 76 metres per second, vertically, upside down. You can see the curvature of the earth from up here, right out over the Atlantic, and look, over there, that'll be the Andes, I reckon. It all looks so far away, and it is, although not for long. I'd recommend the skydiving position, you know, the one face down with your arms and legs bent, if you can. It won't save your sorry arse, but it helps you control your pitch and your yaw. Oh, and another thing, try not to have any maudlin thoughts like how you're going to die and everything. You see, nothing's changed on that front. Today's events have just brought forward the appointment a little bit. You have to admit, the Earth is a beautiful place, seen from up here. That's what all the astronauts say. The experience gives them some kind of perspective. It all looks so blue, so peaceful. So really, if some miracle were to happen, if, say, somebody below you had a parachute and you were to land on top of that canopy at about 200 feet above the ground, and that were to cushion your fall, and then you landed on a slope covered in deep snow, something like that, you might actually end up feeling a bit disappointed that this stunning cerulean orb shooting towards us is crawling with the likes of me and you, people who by design or neglect seem determined to fuck it all up and act like bastards to each other while we do it. No. It's better to see it from up here. Who else can honestly say that they'll spend the rest of their lives enjoying such an exquisite view? And falling is such a lovely sensation in its own right, don't you think? Once you get used to it, that tingling feeling at the pit of your stomach, well, lower than that really, it's kind of erotic. Stretch out your right arm. Great, isn't it? Spinning round dizzily in a hypoxic bliss. Is it you, or is it South America on that carousel ride below you? Doesn't matter. That's relativity for you. But try not to flip over. You wouldn't want to see all your fellow travellers hurtling in the same direction as you, especially since they don't seem to share your own serene grace. Remember that fat guy looking smug as you walked past him on your way towards the back? Well, there ain't no business class up here, mate. Who's the mug now? You paid 5 times what we did and the ride's just the same. Don't think of home. Take it from me, just don't. There's nothing they can do unless they have plenty of foresight and a very large blanket. And there's nothing you can do for them either. I'm assuming your life insurance is paid up. What's that you say? Oh dear. Well, you could have arranged a quick payment, but mobile coverage in the troposphere is poor. Sorry, just is. Stretch both hands out in front of you. Whee! Great, isn't it? You're doing about 165 miles an hour, which is quite a lot. Nearly there. There won't be that much of you to bury, so that's something else you don't need to worry about. So what? You can't attend your own funeral. Well, not really. But do try to land some distance away from me, wouldn't you? We've only just met, and I don't feel like spending all of eternity in a box with somebody else's ribs, or worse. So, yeah, enjoy the ride, because it's all we've got left, isn't it? And cheer up. It's not so very different from what we were doing yesterday. It's just a matter of perspective.